Hello, STEM families. This is the elementary return to in-person learning plan video. I'm going to walk you through the presentation, just like how I did to our return to school plan back in August. So just as a reminder, our original return to school plan, we released that on the 31st of July, and then we provided an update on August 5th. And this is going to be our first update since then, which is that we are returning to in-person learning for elementary. So briefly of what we're going to cover, how we got here, kind of timeline of what's been happening, our academic plans revisited, what we're going to be offering to our elementary families, and then our return to in-person learning, how are we going to bring students back safely. And then finally, some reminders of some policies and procedures already in place. And then lastly, what we need from our families. So let's jump right in, how we got here. Okay, as you can see, this is our timeline of events that started all the way back in May through August. And then as we head into our next slide here, you can see where we're currently at, and that's going to be around this mid-September to late September time box here, where you see where we started after Labor Day, reassessing if it was even feasible to start bringing students back. We felt like it was based off of the data, which we'll show you in an upcoming slide. And then we started to develop a kind of progressive rollout. We were gathering feedback from our families as to what they would like to see, as well as from our staff to make sure that they were comfortable moving forward, and also sharing with them the preparations that we would be taking. So the final kind of step in our plan that we have mapped out right now would be following fall break, where we see here grades K through 5 will have fully implemented our return to in-person plan. We'll then begin the assessment of our secondary school to see how we can safely start bringing back more students in secondary. So just a reminder of our goals. Multiple times, Dr. Euchre and Dr. Wayman had kind of mapped things out either in their newsletter entry or in our parent FAQs and Q&As. And so we just wanted to reiterate that we have been working behind the scenes. We were waiting for DCSD to kind of lead the way, as they had promised they would, with an evaluation after Labor Day. And we felt that with all the things that are happening within the district, that we were still going to move forward, whether they were going to do their assessments or not. And so it looks like they have done theirs. And we're going to deviate slightly from what DCSD is doing. So driving factors, what we've been looking at when we are making our decisions, these are our health and safety factors. So we use what's called the decision-making metrics, which are outlined on the following slide. And it's designed to rate, to look at 4 data points, and we can cover that in the next slide as well. And we also use data from Tri-County Health. They have a tracking chart that's interactive, and I believe it's about every 24 to 48 hours, depending on when you hit that tracker, is when it gets updated. So this is that decision matrix. These are the 4 things, the metrics, the 4 things that go into how we make decisions about coming back, the 4-point scale. And then here you can see, this is just a screenshot of the Tri-County Health's kind of interactive dashboard. You can click on this link in the PDF document that's going to be attached to go along with it. You won't be able to click it here, but open up the PDFs, and that link will be hyperlinked to where you can take a look at the Tri-County Health's website and kind of move these bars around and click and get very detailed information. But as you can see, Douglas County is this, this blue box here, or this teal box. And as you can see, Douglas County has been trending pretty low in number of cases for a while now compared to other counties. So another reason, other factors that we're taking into account are social and emotional factors. We know, especially with our elementary school kids, it's really important to get them into school, especially our younger ones, so that they can learn those social and emotional skills that they need when interacting not only with other students, but with teachers as well. So having more students in the class, we hope will mean will lead to less stress on the students when they're home alone trying to access their education, less stress on the parents, and ideally less stress on the teachers as they are being able to provide that in-person learning to more students as opposed to only online in most cases. Another factor that we took into account was that other neighboring charter schools and other schools in large districts were offering either 5 days for K through 5 or a modified version that was offering, and they were doing so safely. And so we wanted to start moving in that direction as well. So we're gonna revisit our academic plans. This is what we're offering our families. So our current model, we have two academic plans. The first is our hybrid plan. The second is our 100% virtual online plan. So under the hybrid plan, students will now have the opportunity to come to 4 days in person. That would be Monday through Thursday with a virtual day on Friday. We are also offering 2 days in person with 3 days virtual. The majority of families who have responded do like that 4 days in person. So this is a reason from the feedback that we've received over the last few weeks from parents and from teachers, this is a reason why we are moving in this direction. Okay, now families can switch between the plans as their needs change. However, as we move into the next few weeks, that change will need to be submitted to Stephanie Webb, and her email address is included there. Again, it's hyperlinked. So when you open up the PDF that comes along with this presentation, you'll be able to click on that email. You will need to let her know about a week prior so that she can change the coding in Infinite Campus and so that our teachers can also prepare for an additional student in their classroom. It's easier and less stress on our staff when we know in advance as opposed to from one day to the next. We need to make sure that we can adequately accommodate all students. So that prior notification is really, really important. So let's talk a little bit about our return to in-person learning. Our grades K through 2. We're going to call this a progressive rollout, and I outline that a little bit more on another slide, but we're going to start first with our students in K through 2. They will begin on Monday, September 21st. That's this coming Monday, where they can come 4 days a week, and that's Monday through Thursday. So students in grades 3 through 5 will remain in either their 2-day hybrid plan or their 100% virtual online. So if you're a family that has a kindergartner and a third grader, the kindergartner may come 4 days a week. The third grader will still come 2 days and then do 3 days online. And we'll explain a little bit why we're doing a progressive rollout in a slide to come, okay? The sign up closed today at noon. So if you missed that and you're just hearing this now, and you have a student in grades K through 2 that was in a 2-day hybrid plan, we ask that you please email Stephanie Webb, and then she will let you know once the adjustment has been made in the system and when your student can start attending. Okay, please just don't send, if your student was in cohort B in kindergarten in person, please don't send them on Monday. We will not be prepared for them. That sign up form was really, really important for that reason. And so one thing that we want to mention, our instructional assistants and educational assistants over the summer put together some really awesome supply kits. So if you are in grades K through 2 and you had a supply kit that you were able to take home, we ask that you please bring that supply kit with all of the other additional supplies that your student may need with them to school for in-person work. So just to reiterate again, K through 2 can start attending school Monday through Thursday, starting this coming Monday, September 21st, if they have signed up using the sign up form that was either sent out this past Wednesday or the reminder that was sent out last night, okay? So now let's talk about third grade. If you have a student in third grade, they can start attending 4 days in person, and that's Monday through Thursday, starting on Monday, September 28th. Fridays will still remain a virtual day. There is a sign-up form that is linked right there that will also be included in the email and in the PDF, so please don't try and click it here in the video, okay? If you fill out the form and select yes, your student will be moved to 4-day in-person learning. If you select no on the form, your student will remain in their designated academic plan, and that will either be 2-day hybrid or 100% virtual online. So we ask that everyone please fill out the form. Even if you're staying 100% online, this is just another checkpoint for us to validate that your student will be either staying 100% online, moving to 4-day in person, or staying 2-day in person, okay? So we ask that if you have a 3rd grader that you complete that form no later than next Friday, September 25th at 12 p.m. That way, that gives our front office team the opportunity to do the necessary coding in Infinite Campus, and for our staff to be prepared, our 3rd grade teachers and our facilities team to be prepared to welcome your student back to 4-day in-person learning. And again, there's that note there about the supply kits. If you have a 3rd grader that received a supply kit, we ask that you please have them start bringing that back to school. So now, finally, grades 4 and 5. So if you have a student in grades 4 and 5, they can begin attending Monday through Thursday in person starting on Monday, October 19th. You can use the sign-up form that's located right there in this slide presentation. And again, it is not clickable here, so please open up the PDF or use it, click it via the email that we will send to you with that link in there. So again, if you select yes for your 4th or 5th grader, that means that you would like for them to move to 4-day in-person learning. If you select no, your student will remain in their designated academic plan. You can fill out the form all the way up until Friday, October 9th at 12 p.m. It will close, okay? Now, down the line, if you would like to change your student's academic plan, that is totally fine. You will just email Stephanie Webb, okay? And her email address is in this presentation a couple of times, and let her know what you would like to move your student into, okay? And again, there's that note about the supply kits. So what to expect for all grades. Most of the students that are moving to 4-day in person have been attending already as part of a cohort. So, but just in case, teachers will review all social distancing procedures as well as best practices to prevent the spread of germs. And we are setting the expectation that students follow these procedures to the best of their ability. So at home, if you can continue to reinforce good hand washing behavior, wearing of masks, and making sure students understand, you know, social distancing and those kinds of things and why it's important. With the increase in the number of students in the school, this is especially important. While our teachers and our facility team is prepared, it is helpful when students come in knowing what the procedures are and practicing those. That way they can help us as we navigate the hallways and what to do in the lunchroom and recess and Driveline and those kinds of things. So our teachers have gone through their classrooms and have indicated the furniture that they will and will not need. So we've already made the necessary arrangements to make the classrooms more accessible to accommodate social distancing. We have fairly large classrooms in our elementary school, and we can accommodate the increase in students while still maintaining social distancing. And then our custodial team will still continue to supply our teachers with the cleaning supplies that they need each day. And they will continue to do the cleaning that they have been doing throughout the day in our high traffic areas. So why the progressive rollout? And again, I want to reiterate that we are not following DCSCD's plan to return to a 5-day-a-week in-person learning starting October 19th. One of the reasons why we're doing the progressive rollout is we want to be as safe as possible to responding to the needs of families. The largest number of families that responded back with feedback were our K through 2nd grade, that they wanted to send their kids back. Their students needed that one-on-one time with teachers and access to the education in person. We also want to make this transition for our staff as smooth as possible. So rolling out this in grades K through 2 really assists with that. It also allows for us to accomplish and meet the needs of all parties, which are staff, teachers, families, and students. Additionally, and we've had some questions as to why not 5 days and why 4. The Fridays, we have set aside that time for our teachers to do assessments with students one-on-one, do office hours if needed, to interact, respond to emails, and also get some professional development, meet with their teacher teams, their grade level teams, and record and create their instructional and unique creative content. And this is one of the things that sets STEM apart from DCSD, other DCSD schools, and other schools in general, is the creative instruction that our teachers are creating themselves. So recording videos, they're creating the assignments, and they're incorporating other technologies that some schools are not, for our students to be able to access. And all of that takes some planning. So we have that time set aside for our teachers to be able to do that, so that they aren't having to go home and do that on their own time. And so we want to acknowledge that, and then also save that time for the teachers to be able to do that. Okay. So some reminders about policies and procedures already in place. We will continue to follow DCSD policies when it comes to health and safety. Students must wear masks to attend in person. That will not change for right now. If a student feels ill or has a fever above 100, they do not come to school. We continue to have quarantines located in both the elementary and middle school for students who are ill. We do take temperature checks in both the elementary and the middle school lobbies. Those are done in the morning, and then I believe a couple of times throughout the day. Hand sanitizing stations are also throughout the building, and teachers are having, when students come in and walk by, they are asking them to use the hand sanitizer and learn how to take their own temperatures as they come in. So this is a reminder to all of our families that about the West Driveline procedures. We are using Pick My Kid to pick up your student. It's really important that whoever comes to pick up your student uses the app. If they are not prepared when they come into Driveline with the app, it does slow down Driveline. We will do our best to assist you, to assist any parent who needs help. However, we are short-staffed with our Driveline volunteers, and so if we pull somebody to assist, then that slows us down in getting the cars loaded and rolled out. So if you could please come prepared with the app ready to use, that would be great. We have that link, the Pick My Kid app, a word is linked to our webpage, where there's instructions on how to get it set up. Select your delegates, make sure that you're in the correct line or pickup mode for your student. And there's also a form and contact information if you need help, so please reference that. Additionally, here what's linked is the transportation management plan as well as the West Driveline process. Those are also both on our website. So just a reminder, if you're coming to pick up your students, these are our dismissal times. So grades K through 1, only, they get dismissed at 2:20. So we usually allow the cars to start rolling into the parking lot right around 2:15. If you are also picking up a student in kindergarten or first grade, and you're also picking up a student at second grade, please do not enter the parking lot prior to 2:30, okay? Because you will not be able to pick up your second grader or third grader, fifth grader, fourth grader at that time, okay? Starting at 2:30, cars will be allowed in the lot to start picking up their students in grades 2nd through 5th grade, as well as any siblings that were in kindergarten and first grade. And finally, we have 2:55 is when parents can enter the lot to pick up their kids, or any of their elementary students that have a secondary sibling as well. Here is a link to helpful videos in a parent newsletter that we sent out at the start of the school year if you have any questions about Driveline or just tips in general. So again, there's the email address if you have any Pick My Kid questions. We'd love to assist you. As a reminder, you need to make sure that you designate your pickup mode and your delegates, if that is needed, prior to 1:45 each day. We can help you also in the front office if you want to call the elementary school front office in setting up your delegates for that day if you need help the first time. Just as a reminder, West Driveline pickup mode, that is for all students being picked up by a car, and it's regardless of time frame, okay? So if you have a student that you are picking up by car, please select the pickup mode as West Driveline, okay? And that might be different as in years past, and that's a new thing with the Pick My Kid app. If you are walking up to the elementary school doors to pick up your student, then please designate them as a walker, okay? Also, if your student is an older student that you have allowed with the appropriate paperwork to walk off campus, you can designate them as a walker as well. If you have an elementary student that has a secondary sibling and they are walking, please designate them as sibling pickup, okay? So there's a slight difference there from previous years between sibling pickup and West Driveline, okay? And then there again is the link for the Pick My Kid page on our website if you have any questions. Technology reminders, not much is changing with that. If you're having difficulty with technology, just submit a ticket to support@stemk12.org so that our IT staff can assist you. If your student is at home trying to access their Zoom sessions during class and the teacher is not letting them in, it could be because if they're sharing their screen, they cannot see who's in the waiting room. So please contact the school front office so that they can assist and try and get in touch with the teacher to check the waiting room, okay? So here's our ask of our families. So collaboration is key. If you're changing your academic plan, please follow the process outlined in the previous slides. That's really helpful for our teachers so that a student just doesn't show up one day that they're not prepared for. And then patience. So we're all doing our best to meet the needs of our families. So thank you so much for your patience and understanding. As we go through this progressive rollout, please show our teachers some grace and patience as they will be adjusting to a new normal once again, and that can always be pretty stressful. But we hope that this alleviates some of the stress down the line as we start to get back to some sense of normalcy, okay? And last but not least, we need some volunteers. So we actually have 3 opportunities for parents to volunteer. These are all outside of the school. There will be a click here button in the PDF to sign up to volunteer for the outside lunchroom that we are offering. As there's also a sign up, you can click here to access the sign up form to volunteer for recess. And then we also need some more help with Driveline. There will be additional details about this in the Friday newsletter that will go out today. So please be on the lookout for that, and please consider signing up because we desperately need your assistance and we would love to see your faces. So that is the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, please first reference the communications pathways. If it's in regards to a particular question that you have that can be addressed using the communications pathways, that way it gets you to the right person. If you have feedback about this plan, please don't hesitate to use the feedback form. And if you have any questions just in general that maybe the communications pathway has not identified yet, you can email communications@stemk12.org. Thank you so much and for listening, and we look forward to seeing our kindergarten through 2nd graders that have signed up on the form on a Monday for 4-day in-person learning. Have a great weekend.